I'm talking about my business and why I do it. Because being Native, growing up, it was like it's weird because I wasn't always proud to say that I was Native, like I am now, because I didn't really, there's not very many of us. So it's just, when you're in school, it's like, I didn't like saying I was Native as much as I do now because I didn't realize how unique I was. It made me feel like an outsider. And then also, like, our representation it's in a lot of ways, it's non-existent. And so that was one of the things that, I wanted to build a platform to give us a voice. And I've come a long way.
Yeah. Yo, what up? It's your boy Rabino.
And this DJ in the building.
And you listening to the UpNUp Podcast.
Yeah.
Wait, what are we doing?
I don't know, just listen.
Yes. Welcome.
What it do?
Ladies and gentlemen, you're tuned into the UpNUp Podcast on the UpNUp Network. I'm your host, Rabino.
And I'm DJ man.
What's up, boss? How you doing?
I'm good, bro. How you doing?
You made it in, bro.
I made it.
You made it in, man. You overcame the barriers, right?
Yes, sir.
We here,
all
man.
the roadblocks, all that. Yeah.
Literally and figuratively, right? Hell yeah, man. Well, welcome. If this is your first time tuning in, as I stated, this is the UpNUp Podcast. This is the podcast where we're focused on cultivating culture, right? We do that by providing amazing stories of individuals, groups, movements, right? The hustlers, the shakers, right?
Yes, sir.
The ones who are taking up space, breaking down barriers. And ultimately, they're putting it down not only for us who are still here, but for who?
For the future generations.
Yes, sir, man. The next generation, man. This is what it's about, right? We're paving that way. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome to the family. And by family, I have to shout out the family members, the consistent supporters, the viewers, the listeners, anybody who's been tapping in with the movement thus far. We've been at it for some time now, right?
Yes, sir.
We've been grinding, right?
Yep.
And they've been grinding with us, right? So shout out to y'all. We salute you guys. We thank you and we appreciate you. And yeah, man, I don't know, man. Today I just, me, man. My attitude is gratitude, right? Always, man. Yeah. And I'm really grateful that we get an opportunity to always sit down with people who are really making history, right before our eyes in real time. And I'm excited because today's guest is someone I would say who's truly been creating a lane for himself and has been finding the right ingredients, I should say, to push his culture forward, right? He's definitely a true culture cultivator who's keeping everything he's doing on the up and up. A little bit of insight on the work this brother's been doing. He is the owner and founder of the amazing Native Soul Cuisine.
Yeah.
And as a young, hungry, focused entrepreneur, chef, and I would say a conduit for both Native American culture and heritage and the culinary arts. He's really been on a mission to not only grow his business and platform, but more importantly, he's spreading the word and raising awareness of all the ways in which, Native American culture has contributed to the culinary arts in that entire space. This man he's been pushing. He's really making impact. He's connecting, right? One stomach at a time, right?
Hey.
You know what I mean? With the hearts and minds of those who are tapped into what he's got going on. We're honored. We're excited to connect and learn more about the journey he's been building. So let's just get straight to it, man. Our guest is none other than the one who's always stirring up the pot of success, right? Right?
Did it again.
I do. I'm going to keep doing it. Doing it. He's stirring up the pot of success, and he's here with us today to share with us how he's been doing that. Our guest is none other than the man himself, Chef Jeremy Thunderbird. Can we get a round of applause?
Yeah.
Give it up.
What's going on, fellas?
Yeah.
No, man.
How you doing, boss?
Bro, I had an eventful weekend.
Yeah.
It was my birthday just this weekend.
So, man, happy birthday.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate you. It's my shack year. I'm 32.
Let's go.
Hey.
Let's go. The diesel.
Man.
Yeah, exactly.
Coming in, hard in the paint. I see the festivities are still going, man. I should have brought my shades with me too, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we still partying, bro. We still celebrating life.
A little bit.
Yeah,
toast. Yeah, you got to toast to life sometimes, man.
Oh, man, for sure. I appreciate that. Well, we appreciate you being here, man. I know you're a very busy guy.
Yeah, bro. And, thanks for letting me come on here just so I can share a little bit about my business and vent a little bit, honestly.
Yeah, no, man, we appreciate having you here. So I don't know if you're familiar with the show. We always start every episode with the quote of the day, right? Something to get the vibe right, get the conversation started. Brother man
Yes, sir.
Man
yes,
of the
sir.
quotes. What you got for us today, man?
The quote of the day today is, our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall.
I like that one. Who was that quote by? Confucius?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sir.
I like that.
Say it again.
Yeah,
I
run
got
that
you,
back.
I got
Run
you.
that back.
This off real quick.
How's it
Our
going?
greatest glory is not in never failing or falling, but in rising every time we fall.
Word.
Yeah.
I felt that. I know. No, I mean it's self-explanatory, and I think it definitely ties into the conversation we're gonna have. And on this show, we really about the journeys that people have been on and go through. But before we get into kind of your journey, I do want to kind of give you a chance to speak to kind of the brand and the movement that you've been creating with Native Soul Cuisine. So from your viewpoint, like in terms of the mission and inspiration, like how would you describe kind of the impact you guys are seeking to have? What you guys got going on?
Yeah. It's something that it goes through my mind a lot when I'm talking about my business and why I do it. Because being Native, growing up, it was like it's weird because I wasn't always proud to say that I was Native, like I am now, because I didn't really, there's not very many of us. So it's just, when you're in school, it's like, I didn't like saying I was Native as much as I do now because I didn't realize how unique I was. It made me feel like an outsider. And then also, like, our representation it's in a lot of ways, it's non-existent. And so that was one of the things that, I wanted to build a platform to give us a voice. And I've come a long way.
Yeah. No, I think it is important, and we were talking about it a little bit before the show in terms of how sometimes what people do is not what it's shown to be on the surface. There's a lot more that goes into why you do what you do. So I definitely get that for sure.
Yes, sir.
It's important. It's important.
Yes, so let's take it back, man. Let's talk about your upbringing, where you were born, where you're from. Just kind of touch on that a little bit.
Yeah, so my tribe, my dad's Squamish Indian, so he's from Vancouver, BC, up in Canada, R.I.P. Pops, and my mom's California native, so she's Ohlone and Chumash. But I grew up in Renton.
Yeah.
I was like, moved to the east side when I was a teenager, started going to middle school and high school out there. So my grandma was getting a little bit older, so we moved out to the east side to kind of like watch over her, and I miss my grandma too, because she's one of the reasons why I like kind of had the idea to go with a native like name for my business, because like standing out in the food industry, you got to find a niche.
Yeah.
Like what separates you from the rest of the other cooks, because there's a lot of good like chefs in Seattle. And when I was coming up with a name, I was like, man, like I didn't want to come up with something corny like fine food cuisine or something like that.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people that
it takes time to come up with that name.
Oh man, and then it hit me. I was like, man, Native Soul Cuisine. That's gonna be it. And then I was still working at AT&T at the time, when I was kind of like thinking about man, this would be actually like cool to do. I connected with Trap Kitchen years ago, and I saw how they kind of like started their platform just like an underground like restaurant through Instagram.
Yeah.
And so that's where I kind of got the idea. But I lost my job, and this was about 4 years ago, like I was saying, and I was just working sales at AT&T at the time, and transitioning, like I was like, man, I'll probably just go work for T-Mobile or something, because my manager was gonna help me transfer. So like in between, I needed some money, and I was like, I was already making food and stuff, so I was like, let me try it out. Let me try and do what these guys are doing. But yeah, man, that was tough, because it like for the first, I would say like 1 to 2 years, like I wasn't really making no money.
Yeah. And this was early kind of finding your way out, it sounds like.
Yeah, I was trailblazing.
Yeah.
Trying.
And I did want to kind of as we were talking about your upbringing, I did kind of want to because I'm always just curious about how it was for people growing up, because I think it is important, and it kind of like launches you into what you're going to be doing in the future, even if you don't know what you're going to be doing.
Exactly.
And I did read that. Some of your early influences were your grandfather. He was a chef, right?
Yeah, my mom's dad. Was a chef. My dad was always a good cook.
Okay.
Himself, and my mom has 12 brothers and sisters, 12 of them.
Okay.
And so the guys in the family, I've always watched them do a lot of the cooking, like my uncles and stuff. So they like to cook as well.
Okay.
So
you would you say like a lot of the early seeds might have been planted just from kind of like seeing that, maybe subconsciously?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I can see that.
Definitely.
Yeah, what were like some of your interests like growing up?
Man, sports.
Yeah.
Like natives, we like basketball. I got into football too, and so that was just like those were kind of like my main two sports that I liked. But other than that, man, it was weird because I have a twin brother and we're completely different. Like we're literally completely different.
Yeah.
He's a classical violist.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And I was never into that stuff.
Okay. You have to go find your own thing, right?
Yeah, bro. Like
I feel like I just feel like that's how it is with sibling dynamics, where you're like, oh, you doing that, or I'm gonna go do something else,
Yeah.
I mean, there was a couple of different twins in our school, but they were all, for the most part, they were kind of similar. Me and my brother just were never that.
Yeah.
Even though we were twins, we just looked alike.
Yeah. No, I feel it, bro. Now, a lot of times when people kind of jump into an industry or a field, there's a lot that goes into kind of building your confidence. And so getting back to kind of what you were touching on, leaving AT&T and saying, okay, let me just, let me try my hand at this. It may not be fully serious yet. But how was that pivoting like? Like, do you have advice and tips for like people on how to like pivot from one thing that you were like so tapped into and then saying, man, I don't know what's ahead, but let me just go ahead and try that. Like, what was that like? What was your mindset like at that time?
It was tough, man, because sometimes I didn't know that I was gonna be all right, financially, or if this was gonna work out.
Yeah.
But I just kept at it. I would say, man, you got the earlier you start marketing is probably the hardest thing to do. Just work on marketing, figuring out your niche, like I said, what makes you different. And then a lot of times it's just doing it, bro. Like, 'cause people are scared and, they're not willing to take that leap.
Yeah.
So that's probably the hardest part, is just like actually, like I was kind of forced to do it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, man, I need to make some money.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was a beautiful thing, like,
Yeah.
And so even nowadays, like I still think back to those times where I was just like, man, what am I gonna do, bro? Like, how am I gonna make money? Like, is this gonna work?
Yeah.
But I would have never thought we'd be in Lumen Field, serving food in Lumen Field.
Yeah.
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 So,
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to take that. I just seen a post on Instagram. It's this page, Visualize, and they always got these dope graphics. But one of the graphics was like, you just got to take that first step, and it's like a graph where like the first step is like boom, and it goes all the way high, and then every step after that is kind of like, gradually a little bit smaller. But that first step is everything, man.
It is. It literally is. And then once you do that, you're gonna have people that aren't gonna believe in you, which was tough, especially like hearing it from my family.
Yeah, what was that like? Because I think everybody deals with that. They don't get it. They don't understand it.
Yeah, bro. They just, when you hear that, it's like kind of like it's like a blow to the heart. Like pretty much they're saying that you're gonna fail.
Yeah.
But I think that's one of the things that motivated me. And like sometimes it sounds corny, but it's like, damn, I was talking to this girl at the time, and like it didn't work out, and I was just like, man, I can't let people laugh at me like this.
Yeah.
Like my any of my family members who didn't believe in me.
Yeah.
And it's weird how like heartbreak kind of like you can use it to motivate you.
Yeah.
You know?
You got to channel it, man. Like, I always think about this. Like, no matter what, the emotions are emotions, bro. Like, anger, joy, sadness, doubt, fear, all these things. Like, we're all human. We're gonna go through emotions, but it's about how you channel it, right? Like, you could channel it one way, which is gonna be non-beneficial, or you could channel it this way, which would be beneficial. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think that's what I just got from that. I think it's important for people to understand that. Like, what you feel is what you feel, but how you gonna channel it? You know?
True. Yeah, bro.
That's
like,
real.
it would have been very easy for me to just let that get to me, and then, you know, I'd be working 9 to 5 still.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's really important. You gotta have thick skin if you're gonna like work for yourself and make it a way to support yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and don't be scared. You know, like,
Yeah.
you can't.
Gotta have that tunnel
Scare
vision.
money don't make money.
Come on, man.
For real,
Come on,
man.
Scare money never made a purchase. Shout out Nip.
For real. So, what was like your first pop-up event, first like sale? Like, what was the feelings and emotions that you was kind of going through?
Bro, like when I first started, I was really unorganized.
Yeah.
You know, like, but my homie Emilio, who's like, he's a huge part of my business. I wouldn't be here without him. He's worked in restaurants for like 10 years and stuff. So he kind of helped me like get into, because I'm not a classically trained chef like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
Yeah.
I had to learn myself.
Yeah.
And just go off what I already knew. But yeah, he kind of just showed me like, yeah, this is how we streamline it. It was like kind of using his restaurant experience for us to like trap food from the kitchen.
Yeah.
So that was cool. But yeah, man, it was really just like kind of scary at first, because like you post this and like I know people were laughing at me when I first started. I know it. They're like, man, what's this guy doing selling food on Instagram?
People always do that.
Yep.
Oh, you a chef now?
Yep,
You know,
exactly.
they be doing that type of shit.
Anytime you try to do something new, like whatever your business, you could be just like painting mugs or something, like coffee mugs, and that's your business. Like, people are gonna laugh at you when you first start, and then when it starts like working, like they're not laughing no more. Like, like right now, they're not laughing at me no more.
Yeah.
They can't.
Yeah.
So that part was also motivating too.
Yeah.
You know, because like, man, I'm not gonna let none of this like this break up. Like, you know, I gotta like, you use that and you're like, man, I'm not gonna let them laugh at me.
Yeah.
Like, that was a lot of just doing what I did.
Yeah.
And like the success that came after it was just, you know, I wasn't gonna give people the satisfaction to see me fail.
Yeah.
So you gotta have a different kind of mindset.
Yeah.
And then be yourself too, because I see a bunch of other chefs like that are talented, but you know, like they're very generic.
Yeah.
With their work. Like, I'm not saying your food isn't good, but you're not differentiating yourself. Like,
Yeah.
And
You got to create your identity. That was something I remember we were talking about that on the last episode we had, where when it comes to branding, it's like your identity. Who are you? You know, what do you represent? That whole thing.
yes, bro.
That's important. Yeah.
That's like vital.
Yeah. Now, on the flip side of that, so like no matter what you do, you're gonna have what they want, whatever they call haters, or people who just don't believe, or they don't see it, they can't see it.
Yep.
But I did see you did an interview with the Blacktop Podcast, and on there you did mention, on the flip side of that, you had people who did support you too. Like, you had friends, people who just kind of affirmed what you were doing, and they would actually ask for you to pull up, and they wanted to support the business. So can you touch on kind of like how that maybe helped early on?
Yeah,
when you didn't have it all figured out, you know?
Definitely. Really, like, you know, I wouldn't be here without some of my like friends and family and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Just giving me a chance. You
Yeah.
know, like, I may not have perfected it to the way I wanted it to be, but at least giving me a chance, like, it gave me a little bit of hope.
Yeah.
That's, you know, like, yeah, like, that's all you need is just, you know, one job, like, for someone to give you a chance.
Yeah.
Like, with anything, really, like, if you're learning something, like,
Yeah.
people can't expect you to be perfect.
Yeah.
But they also have to, like, give you that, or I don't know what it was, bro. Like, maybe they just felt bad for me, but for some reason they gave me a chance.
Yeah.
And then I just got better and better.
Yeah.
and now it's like I'm picking and choosing which jobs I want to do.
Yeah.
Whereas before I was praying that I would, like get a job.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's growth right there, man.
It really is.
For real.
That's growth, man.
Yeah.
It's value.
I also seen, so were you like taking orders through the kitchen window?
Yeah.
Starting out?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy. I seen that and I was like, man, like that's kind of dope. Like starting out, you wouldn't think like your kitchen window would be like a walk up type of window, like a food truck or something, So what was that like?
That was that was fun, man.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun. We at one point I remember just like every weekend we would do this, where we just have like the whole block like lined up outside.
Yeah.
And then it would like either we would run them out their food or they would come to the window. But yeah, that was a rush.
Yeah.
Like getting to do that, it's like, and even some of the neighbors picked up food. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, man. You can't really be scared to do things like that because some people might be like, oh, that's like that's ghetto or whatever. But like, yeah, it kind of was. But people still came through, and like it's not like we were offering garbage. Like, this is good food.
Yeah,
yeah. No, I mean,
so
no, that's real.
Yeah,
That's real.
Even when I seen it, I was like, man, that's a great idea. And I was like, damn, that's crazy because I would have never thought about that. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta work with what you got.
Yeah,
bro.
that's what I'm saying.
But that's the point. You got to work with what you got.
Yes.
And I think that's the part where people like sometimes they're scared because they want to be perfect out the gate.
Yeah.
They want to have the right thing. They want to have the right look. They want to have the right aesthetic. They want to have the right logo. Like they want to have everything perfect before they start. And I'm like, bro, just start. Just do it. You know what I mean? And see if you're good at it. That's the whole point. Like you got to get out there and go out and just try.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm getting.
Literally, bro.
Yeah. Nah, man, I love, cause reflecting is important, man, because, we all want to grow and go to different levels of success, but, kind of even like our logo, like the roots do symbolize that. Like, you got to stay rooted and remember kind of the beginning and why you started. But for you, like when did it feel like, okay, I'm hitting another level and I kind of have to change maybe my model, or I might have to add some things to make it, like you said earlier, your homie helped you make it more streamlined. Was there like certain jobs or like, what was that like, that process of like scaling it and kind of going to a different level?
You're always going to go through that process. Like that's a never ending process, like evolving. It's like part of, I think, surviving in the industry or whatever industry you're in is like, just always stay evolving. So it like little things, like first we would just make plates, and then eventually someone asked me like, can you cater this 420 event? That was like the first catering job I ever got, and I acted like I knew what I was doing.
There you go. You got to, bro.
For real.
You got to.
Yeah.
I acted like I knew what I was doing, even though I was a little bit scared to death. Like, shit, what if I fuck up?
Yeah.
But no, that went good, and then you just slowly build confidence and stuff, and eventually started cooking for athletes. Like JP's the homie. Shout out JP. That was a tough series loss against us.
Man. Yeah, shout out JP.
Future's bright,
Mariners, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Future's bright.
So, and even a couple different Seahawks that we prepared some food for.
Yeah.
That was actually really cool. Like, kind of just seeing where I was at before and now and where it's headed.
Yeah.
You're right, bro. Like, reflecting is very important because it's, some days you're not going to feel it.
Yeah.
And you got to know, like, where you've been, where you're going.
Yeah.
And that just kind of, like, calms my mind, because I always overthink.
Yeah.
Like, at night. Like, it keeps me up at night in my business. Cause,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
That's, like, I know this is my life, so.
Yeah.
It's funny, man. It's you hate it, but you love it at the same time. That you have, like, cause you're obsessed with it, and it's like, damn, I'm so blessed to like have something that keeps me so like on point.
Yes.
But then I feel you. But even like we were talking about before the show, like you got to find things to keep you inspired on your journey.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's not just a job that's keeping you inspired, but find moments.
Yeah. And that's hard, man. It's like, because finding inspiration sometimes it's like by accident, or you just gotta like think about the next move always, bro. Like,
Yeah.
Like, so coming up, or not too long ago, we actually got invited to be on the Food Network to compete in a cooking show.
Really?
Oh, wow. What show?
It's called the Great Food Truck Race. But it was me and 2 other people. You basically get a team of 2, and then you go. Basically, you drive a food truck. You have your own concept for what food you're gonna make, obviously. And then you drive a food truck like up and down the West Coast. So that's what we were gonna do that this spring. But one of my friends, Emilio, he didn't want to get vaccinated. And there's nothing I can say, you know.
Yeah.
That's your choice. I totally understand.
Yeah.
Which would have been dope to have that experience.
Yeah.
But looking back, I think it was kind of a low key a blessing that we didn't end up going on there, because I made so much progress with my business.
Yeah.
In that like, you know, like span of time.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, man. Like,
I mean, opportunities come and go.
Yeah.
But the fact that you're getting those opportunities is a sign of progress too in itself. You know what I mean?
100%.
I know I did want to touch on, we were touching on earlier in terms of kind of the connection between your business, your brand, and then your culture and your heritage, right? And I think a lot of times when we're working and we're doing stuff that we love, there's always like a greater purpose. There's a why that's behind it. For you, like, was there a moment when it kind of clicked when you said, man, I'm becoming more prideful in where I'm from and my origins, but I also think I can use my platform with food and this culinary art thing to kind of advocate for my people? Like, was there a moment that clicked for you to where it shifted?
I don't think I can't recall like any specific like epiphany that I had.
Yeah.
But you know, going through when I was going like getting my degree, like I would always try and see if there was any Native American studies classes, and there wasn't. So I just had to like research on my own.
Yeah.
And just find out about myself, and you know, like they don't teach you Native American history in school and stuff. So I just, you know, like slowly just started doing my own research like outside of college. And like I was saying, like it hit me, and I was just like, bro, like I'm way more unique than I thought I was.
Yeah.
And I need to use this to my advantage.
Yeah.
'Cause yeah, like if I was just gonna call my business Jeremy's Soul Kitchen or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, like that doesn't really stand out as, and it's always been an identity thing. Like,
Yeah.
you know, that's very important. There's not too many Native restaurants. I think in Seattle there's like Off the Res. Shout out Off the Res. They've been here for a while. But you really don't like get a chance to enjoy Native cuisine.
Yeah.
Like that.
And it's a new generation like that's coming up that needs to be introduced to it too.
Absolutely.
You know
and
what I mean? Whole new generation.
yeah, and going back to my childhood, we never really had any cool like Native role models to look up to. You know, like with a lot of other groups, you know, like ethnically, there's people that you can, you know, see that look like you.
Yeah.
But I didn't really have that. So, you know, like me being a dad, like I wanted to be a good example for the upcoming, like, you know, Native kids who, you know, like that was me at one point.
Yeah. Yeah.
They see this Native guy doing his thing, like representing for them.
Yeah.
And it kind of gives them like a little bit of courage to
Yeah.
like, you know, just do what they want to do, maybe,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So being a good example was always part of the agenda for me.
Yeah.
Specifically, you know, for Native kids.
Yeah. Nah, man, representation is everything, man. You know,
Yeah, definitely.
it is. It's important, man.
Even like seeing your page, your business, your food, like I was like, damn, like it was kind of refreshing because even me not being Native, I never seen that, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm just like, man, it made me really curious and interested, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
yeah, man. So I mean, just shout out to you for you know catching our eye with that one. I
Yeah.
just had to put that out there.
Yeah,
you know?
man.
Yeah, bro.
It's important, man. The image is everything, man. You know, like our platform is really built on representation. You know, like we make it a point to have people who are representing not just industries and professions, but it's like, who are you within that and what else do you represent and who do you represent. And I think, you know, what you're doing is sometimes we don't know how powerful it is, but sometimes we're not supposed to know either, because we're supposed to just leave it here for the next to pick up on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I am curious, because we were talking about this as well. But I did read that in an article that you were touching on how there's actually a strong history and connection between Native American culture, heritage, and influence in barbecue and the barbecue industry and space. And I was super interested about that. Can you touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, bro. Like I was saying, like when I was going through college and stuff, I actually ended up doing I started my own Native American student club.
Okay.
And one year we did a collaboration, or I approached them, the Black Student Union, and I was like, hey, I have this concept of, you know, like this story that we could tell. And really, it's just because my club didn't have any money, and BSU had ducats.
Yeah,
so I low key slipped in there.
Yeah, man.
Slipped in there.
Yeah, I feel that.
Used their budget.
Yeah.
To help fund this idea, and pretty much what it was about is like a story about the Seminoles in Florida. So this is just a mix of Native American and runaway slaves, and they're the only the only nation that didn't surrender to the United States. This is down in Florida. And so once I heard that story, I was like, man, that's actually really dope. And then I just, there's so many other, branches that you could go off on. But, yeah, barbecue started off as a Native American technique for cooking. And it slowly trickled into, when slaves would cook for their masters and stuff.
Yeah.
That's kind of where it became popular.
Yeah.
So it's a dope intersection of culture.
Yeah.
Barbecue is.
Yeah.
And even the word barbacoa is a Native American word. It's means roasting meat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Roasted meat or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, learning that was just cool, bro, and how it changed the culture literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And it just adds more context,
yes.
You know, because when you put soul food and all that, it's man, it's deep, man, and we're all so connected, and sometimes we just don't know.
Yeah.
We're so connected, and the powers that used to be, well, they still in power right now, but
right.
They did a lot of strategic division.
Yeah.
To keep people away from each other, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, man, I'm glad you're able to, because I'm glad you're able to kind of learn that and implement it. It doesn't have to be too preachy, but it's just I'm a kind of preserve that within what I do today, Yeah,
and it's just dope, look it up, the Seminole Indians, and they weren't backing down, and it's just
yeah,
things that part of history that you wouldn't get told in school.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
feel you.
Very relatable, because I have family that's black, and
yeah,
it's there is that division, so, but
yeah, I'm the man of quotes. So I seen a quote that was really interesting that I heard you say before. And it was food is like a history book.
Yes.
So it may seem self-explanatory, but I'll let you kind of break that down for the people.
Food, when I say food is a history book,
yeah.
Man, it really is so for example, I guess an example would be fry bread. Have you guys ever had fry bread?
I actually haven't.
No, I haven't either.
I haven't.
Really?
I've been seeing your posts, and I'm like, yo, I gotta
try that. Yep.
Fry bread is fire, bro. Every culture has their bread. You know what I'm saying? And the story with fry bread is, it was actually started off as a survival food. When they pushed Native Americans onto these things called reservations, they started off as concentration camps, pretty much, for natives.
Yeah.
And they were just given these ingredients by the government, which was just flour, lard, salt, and sugar. Mix a little bit of water in there and fry it. But they were just cheap commodity ingredients that were given to us.
Yeah.
Just kind of like as just basic rations.
Yeah.
But it's turned into a culture thing now where it's like it's become part of our identity. You know, same thing with a lot of soul food like that was given to slaves, like for oxtails. I love oxtails. Oxtails are bomb. But those were garbage scraps that they gave to slaves, and now they're turned into delicacies. So like, it's kind of similar with fry bread, where, you know, like they were giving that just flour and lard and stuff because it was cheap, and they didn't really see any value in that. Yeah, but it's transformed and become part of the culture, and it kind of now we got white people lining up to try it. Yeah, well, I mean, it just speaks to it just speaks to, like, you know, the magic that we put into the world. You know what I'm saying? And we know how to take something that seems like nothing and turn that shit into magic, bro. Exactly. That's literally what we do, bro. Yeah. So yeah, food is a history book, and that's kind of how I would put it. Just if I had to come up with something on the spot. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I feel you, bro.
That's good. That's a good question, man. I'm also curious, man, like in the culinary art space, we've had some chefs on the show in the past. Like, from your perspective, how does one perfect their craft and like their dish, and like how do you know when something needs improvement, or like what's that process like? You know, it's kind of like, you know, like when an artist puts out music, the fans tell me, "Yo, that shit was mid," but then like in your world, like how do you gauge that? How do you?
Well, see, the thing with me is like, or not just me, but us, like Seattle it's dope because there's so much diversity. So like my palate, like there's cultures, food that like I've never tried before, and I still haven't. But that's the beauty of it, is like you'll never run out of like food to try in your life. Yeah, there's no way you could try every dish that was ever made, or it's impossible. Yeah, right. Yeah. So, you know, like just knowing that in itself, it's like it makes me wanna. I look at like sometimes I'll just be at home, like, or I'll be watching like food like a food show on YouTube or something at home when I'm just chilling on my day off. I'm like, man, that looks bomb. I'm gonna look up the recipe. I'm gonna try and make that. Yeah. It's like, you know, like anyone who just has a passion for something, it's just the curiosity part, and then the execution. Yeah. You know, like can I execute this? Like so yeah, like that keeps me a little bit like dialed into what I'm doing, so it doesn't just, you know, like me cooking for other people just doesn't seem like become stale. Yeah. Cuz it can, you know, like I'm saying, it's just I love doing it, but anything that you're doing, it can become stale if you don't like find like a way to spice it up. Yeah. We were talking about dating. Like it's kind of like dating. Yeah. Where you're dating this girl for so long, maybe you guys have been together for like 5 years, like then like things become stale, and then it can become a problem. Yeah. You know, maybe she sees this other guy come on the scene, and you know, like that kind of like piques her interest a little bit, and then it can turn into a situation. Yeah. Yeah. Will Smith and Jada stuff.
Let's pray it's never that. Yeah. Nobody want that. Nobody want them problems, man. No, hell no.
But just finding ways to like keep it interesting. Yeah, you know, is important.
Yeah, because it's interesting because, you know, from us, like the outside looking in, like we don't really know what it's like. It's like kind of like we don't know what it's like to play that sport, right? If you want to call it that. And you know, I just remember like growing up watching like Hell's Kitchen and shit, and just seeing like how intense that shit was, bro. Like how competitive it was. So like, is there an element of competitiveness as well that kind of maybe helps you, you know, I guess do what you do to the best?
Yeah, definitely, bro. Definitely. Yeah. And it's not because I don't like other chefs, but it's just like you look at what somebody's doing in it, and then you know, like maybe they're doing a good like job promoting their business. Like, oh man, I gotta like kind of keeps you in line a little bit.
Yeah.
When someone else is doing really good, because it's like you low key are comparing, like you're comparing yourself to them.
Yeah.
Which, you know, like it's good and it's bad.
Yeah.
But it's a good way to like I think gauge where you are. Because everyone does it, you know. Like
You can learn from other people too.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like comparison is not always a bad thing.
Yeah.
Just if you use it properly.
Yeah.
You know, it can give you some really good ideas.
Yeah. Because it's
when
like
you see people start to copy you,
yeah.
and then it's like, damn, okay, like, you know, we're here.
Yeah, and there's also like just universal kind of like strategies that like it don't matter what you do, like oh that shit works for them. I think that'll work for anybody.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can't do what they do, right? But there's like, you know, there's kind of like just very standard things that are like, oh, okay, that's a practical thing that I can do to help me streamline my shit better or whatever, you know, tools and things like that.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. So, if I came up to you and I was like, Jeremy, man, I'm trying to get in the food industry. I'm trying to pretty much do what you do. What would you tell me, like, as far as like the steps that I need to take to actually start like my own food business or?
So here's the thing with that. It's like you got to find out specifically what you want to do, because there's different even in the food industry you could be a private chef.
Yeah.
You could be a caterer. You could be a food truck owner or a restaurant owner. There's a lot of different avenues you can take with food. So I would I've done a lot of different things, but I would kind of like figure out which part of that you want to be like involved in, because just being a chef is cool. Like, yeah, you could just go in and cook for people and their families and stuff, and or meal prep for them.
Yeah.
You got to find out, because the hardest part about starting your food business is just going through the licensing. So like to get into Lumen Field, you gotta go through like the food, like health inspections and stuff like that. Just realize that it's not, you know, like there's steps to it.
Yeah.
And then what do you want to do? Like, think about it.
Yeah.
Because it's good to like have multiple ways to make money with the food industry. Like I was saying, like we'll go in, we'll cook for athletes, or we'll cater a party, birthday, baby shower, birthday. We do community meals, so there's organizations that will literally hire you for to cook.
Yeah.
Community meals.
Yeah.
In Seattle. So
there's
a lot of different things, and I feel like the more versatile you can be, it's better. But I would do one thing at a time first. Just perfect it as much as you can. Like I said, the first catering job I took, I was like, man, I didn't know what I was doing really, but I acted like I did.
Yeah.
So just like
you gotta get them reps in though.
It's like exactly, bro.
Yeah.
Like nobody is good at something from the get go. You find an interest in it, and then it's up to you to like just be in the gym shooting.
Yep.
You know?
By yourself, you got to get your reps in, man.
I feel you, bro.
That's good, man.
100% right.
Nah, for real, man. Nah, man, you've been dropping gems, man. Like, and I think it's important. I don't know. I just think it's important to kind of, you know, believe in yourself, but then also believe in your ability to lean into like the unknown. Yeah. You know, like this shit ain't laid out. Even though like nobody's doing anything that's like new under the sun, like your path is, you know, it's not laid out. You don't really know what's ahead, but you got to lean into it, man.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Don't be scared, bro. Like
I like that. Yeah.
Or if you are actually, that's kind of like, yeah, you can be scared. Here's the thing, like you can be scared of doing something new, like because you don't like people are afraid of the unknown, right? But it's just like, man, having the courage to like do it anyways, you know, like if it's something that you are generally interested in, you know, exploring, you know, just do it anyways.
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah, bro, like, I don't know what you're gonna do, man.
Yeah. I was having a conversation with a friend where I was like, yo, if you actually enjoy what you're doing, and there's no such thing as failing. Like you're learning how to get better at something you already love doing.
Yeah.
So like you're not really failing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, bro, you're learning.
Yeah, man. It's perspective based.
Yes.
It's about how you see it.
100%.
It's about how you see it for sure.
So like, what's your process when like you get called for like a catering event or whatnot? Just like what's your approach?
So just recently, like on my birthday, this past week, a lot of it is just through the social media. I love social media, bro, because it's free advertising.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll pay for ads and stuff once in a while, which helps kind of just like keep your business, because you have to advertise your business. So
Yeah.
you can run it off word of mouth, which is also like, I think that's one of the better ways to do it too, because you can't beat word of mouth, especially when it comes to food. But yeah, like I'll get a message on Instagram, just like, hey, we have this event, and I'll just ask, like, this is one of the things you got to learn how to ask people questions, so that in a business way, when I was working sales, it helped me a lot with my business now, because there's certain verbiage that you use. Like we call it assuming the sale.
Yep.
Like, okay, so pretty much you just get to the point, like how many people, blah blah blah, and then it'll be this much. How do you want to pay?
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
So that like experience beforehand helped a lot too.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yeah, bro, whatever I was selling, like I've done cold calling, done face-to-face sales, business-to-business sales. So that knowledge was very important too.
Yeah, everything, man, it's crazy because people always be like, man, yeah, I did that job and I don't do it no more. But everything you do matters, bro. Yeah. And you can utilize it, you know, the skills transfer, especially if you were good at it. Like if you were trash at sales and you just trash at sales, you know, but if you were good at sales and then you move in to do something else, you can still take that, take what you know and bring it over there.
Yep.
I like that. Now I did want to kind of touch on this, you know, I think everybody in this room is a hustler and grinding and moving. And for you, like working in like what can be a fast-paced environment at times, and you know, you're always moving, you're always on the go. Like what works for you? How do you kind of recharge your own battery? Like what to allow you to still bring your best self to this thing that you're building?
Oh man, one thing, this also has to do with a little bit the pandemic and how it changed kind of how was just my social life in general. Is man, you gotta cut people off sometimes, like maybe not permanently, but like partying too much is like, there was some days like where I'm like, fuck, I should not have like partied yesterday. When I gotta get shit done. So not doing that, and then just making sure that you stay healthy, like just little normal things like that. You know, watch your diet, go to the gym, take a walk at night. So you're not just sitting there with too much time, like thinking negatively. Because a lot of times, bro, like, you know, like negative thoughts, like, man, that can kill your motivation. Yeah. And it happens to all of us. So like, just finding healthy ways to deal with it, and stress, because it's very stressful sometimes. Just like, I have this problem where I like I'll stack so much on my plate, and then the next day, like I'll just be chilling, and I feel like I'm wasting my time. So it's like finding a balance is very important as well.
Yeah,
very important.
Super important. That's why I asked that question, because I just know, like, it's great to be ambitious and it's great to have goals, and like, you know what I mean, like we want to do so much, but we're human, and at the end of the day, it's a marathon, bro. So it's like, absolutely, we're our biggest assets, right? So if we're not good, this shit ain't gonna be good. You know what I mean? So
exactly, yeah.
It's always good to hear people like kind of just what works for them, what they do, because I think a lot of people can learn from each other in terms of like,
yeah, bro, why
that's important. As much as the grind is important, that's equally important, I think.
It definitely is, bro. Because it's like, man, we're like you said, we're human, man.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, man, Jeremy, bro, this has been definitely a very enlightening conversation, man. You know, you've covered a lot of ground and so much more to cover. You know what I mean? And we'd love to see it. I am curious if you can kind of like look into the future a little bit. Kind of what excites you for the future for you personally, and also maybe for the business.
Yeah, I think having short and long term goals is really important. So for us, like in the short term, we got we just got done with the Sounders season. Now Seahawks,
congrats,
it's coming.
Yeah.
Congrats. And that's something new that we're doing. That's part of like when we were talking earlier about keeping things spicy. You know?
Yeah.
That'll be cool. Just getting our foot in the door and doing something new, still making food, still like, you know, making people happy with their, you know, like our gift. So that's something in the short term that I'm looking forward to. And then long term, man, it would be dope to just find a brick and mortar, you know, like, I don't know, like I have dreams sometimes where it's just like, yeah, like I'm here running my own restaurant, or we're even thinking about maybe getting a food truck too. Yeah. Like try that out.
Yeah. I see it.
Yeah.
I see it. I already see it.
Yeah. Just having a little like mobile restaurant.
Yeah.
And that's something that keeps me from feeling, you know, like that's something I can work towards.
Yeah. Definitely.
So
definitely, man. I see that though. Like
what's up, man.
I see it for you.
Pretty soon, man. Yeah. Pretty soon, we'll see.
Nah, man. I see it. It's gonna happen. I'm a manifest it right
here. Yeah, I definitely got to try the food too, man. So you see me real soon, man.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, I got to tap back in. I've had it plenty of times, but I got to tap back in. And you always bring something new to the table too.
Yeah, bro.
That's good.
Yep.
That's good.
So speaking of that, where can people find you on social media?
Yeah. Where can they tap in?
Yeah, Native Soul Cuisine, all one word. That's where we keep people updated about our upcoming pop-ups, what's new with Native Soul. And then it's just like a lot of it's just me, you know, like people buy from you. I learned this in sales too. People don't buy from you because like of what you have. It's they buy from you because it's like a relationship thing. Like they see you and you know, they like you, and there's something specific about you that they like. And that's why they buy from you. So I make it a point to like show people whose work this is, so they can kind of like build some sort of like relationship in a way.
Yeah,
you know, like see who I am, and so yeah, Instagram is where we run majority of our business through. And we're planning on doing a pop-up at Rose Temple Bar coming up soon, one of these Sundays. So if you guys are interested in trying some food out, that's when we'll become open to the public.
Okay.
We're not doing private events. So
and that's Rose Temple Bar?
Yeah, Rose Temple Bar. It's Capitol Hill.
Okay.
Off Olive.
Okay. Well, yeah, definitely.
I will be on the lookout.
Stay tapped in. Stay tapped in. Y'all know where to tap in and find them, man. Now, before we get you out of here, brother, we always ask every guest this question to cap the show off. So if you can, what is one word to describe what keeps you on the up and up, and why?
I would say one word to keep me on the up and up would be Olani. That's my daughter. You know, like being a dad, bro, it's like that changed my whole entire life. Just because like it made me want to do like bigger and better. Once I have my daughter, she's 6 now, but she that's when I went back to school, you know, and started my own business. And it's beautiful, like, 'cause she sees what I do, and I remember this one day, like she was probably like still 2 or 3, like real young, and I had her in the kitchen with me, and I was just stressed. I was just stressed out, like about timing, and I knew I had a lot of work to do, and I was just working by myself.
Yeah.
And I remember she came over with her little plastic cooking utensils and set them on the cutting board and was like, Dad, I want to help you.
Wow.
It was,
wow.
Bro, it was hella cute.
That's a moment right there.
Yeah.
And right then and there, I like took a deep breath and I'm like, all right, we got this.
Yeah.
You know, like that was just coming from like a 2 or a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
that's
that's
what's up, man.
man, I love that,
That's
bro.
what's up.
I love that because, man, you can't like that's what matters, bro.
Yeah.
Those moments matter, man, and
Absolutely.
you got to pay attention to those, man. And
cherish them.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
I love it.
For real, man.
That's great, man. Thank you for sharing that, man.
You're welcome.
Man, Jeremy, bro, again, like we said, we appreciate you for being here first and foremost, obviously. But, man, the work you've been doing is inspiring. I'm just going to let you know you're definitely inspiring people out here. And you got much, you got success with us, or you got support with us here.
Thanks, bro.
You got support with us here at the UpNUp always, bro. And
Thank you.
we wish you much success moving forward.
For real.
Excited to see what's coming. Ern gonna get himself a plate, obviously.
Man. Hell yeah,
Got you
man.
guys
know what I'm
covered, bro.
saying?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up, man.
Yeah, for
Got
sure.
you guys covered.
For sure. We
Yeah.
all gonna pull up. But yeah, man, with that being said, for the listeners, the viewers, thank you for tuning in. We hope this was great. We hope this fed your soul, right?
Yes,
You know what I
sir.
mean? And with that being said, I think it's safe to say Jeremy, Thunderbird, and the whole Native Soul Cuisine team is officially members of the UpNUp. Let's get around.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you, bro.
Absolutely, man.
Yes, sir.
To continue supporting the podcast and the entire UpNUp movement, be sure to rate, review, like, and subscribe.
As well as follow us at _ the UpNUp on all social media platforms to stay connected with everything the UpNUp has coming your way.
Thanks for listening, and until the next one.
Keep it on the UpNUp.